I think there's quite a few sort of lessons from cricket and sport in general that you can sort of apply to your everyday life. I think cricket teaches you very well how to handle sort of failures and setbacks. Like I mentioned, a sport, especially as a batter, where you will, in terms of outcome and performance, struggle more times than you'll do well. So that teaches you to sort of trust processes along the way and not try to become too performance or outcome based, if that makes sense. So you sort of learn to sort of tick all your boxes that will give you the best chance to do well, and then you get to a game and you give your best, and if it's good enough on the day, then that's awesome, and if it's not, then at least you can sleep well at night knowing that you gave yourself the best chance. And I think that it can apply to everyday life as well. It's sort of doing those small things as best as you can and letting sort of the bigger picture take care of itself. Yeah, so I went sort of primary school phase to a school called Cornwall Hill College, also in Pretoria. So born and bred in Pretoria and still live there. And then I moved to Pretoria Boys High School, and the cricket there was actually really competitive. In Pretoria there's a lot of really good cricketing schools where a lot of national players have come from. So the cricket league sort of at school level was of a really good standard. So I think it played a massive role in sort of development and realizing sort of how far off I was from the best in your age group, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was a really enjoyable journey. Obviously made a lot of friends along the way, and really enjoyed the sort of school sports rivalry that comes with school sport, I suppose. So enjoyable days. I think we back at school you always make things a lot worse than what they are. You know, a couple of bad games and you think it's sort of the end of the world, and to grow up eventually realizing that as a batsman in this sport you're probably going to fail more times than you succeed. But like I said, really enjoyable times at school, and made some really good memories along the way. Look, I've been very lucky to have some incredible coaches and call them mentors along the way. The first one goes back to a guy by the name of Aiden Smith. He coached me from about the age of 12 or 13, if I'm not mistaken. He's actually currently coaching now in New Zealand for one of the domestic teams. And then I worked with guys like Ray Jennings at under 19 level, Peter Brain, and then moved on to Mark Charlton when I sort of started sort of your senior professional cricket, and then Mark Boucher recently has helped me quite a bit as well. So those names have really played a massive role. There's every chance I've maybe left one or two out, but like I said, I've been very lucky to have worked with some amazing coaches from years that date way back. Yeah, the Under-19 World Cup was something very special, not just for myself, but all of us that were involved. We had a great group of guys led by Ray Jennings, the coach, and it wasn't like we had a team of superstars. We had a KG on our team that was probably a few steps ahead of your normal sort of fast bowler, but the rest of us were sort of decent cricketers. And we went into that World Cup sort of realizing that all the other teams have got quite a few big names at that under-19 sort of phase or level, and we were sort of that team that didn't, but we try to find a way to actually help that, or to make it help us in the journey of the World Cup. And it was, yeah, like I said, a very special sort of phase that we went through. It was obviously held in Dubai or in the UAE, and we managed to have family over, most of us, and yeah, special memories from that Under-19 World Cup. Yeah, that's probably that experience of starting slightly younger for the Proteas was probably one of the things I hold closest to my heart. There was all the legends playing for the Proteas, sort of that AB era, and JP and Faf and Hash and everyone. So I was sort of able to mingle with those guys on the day-to-day, and obviously at that phase and still to this day look at those guys as like your heroes, and then to share change rooms and tours and experiences with them was very cool as a young guy. They helped me a lot in my initial phase of of sort of international cricket, and a lot of thanks and credit goes to them for making the, I don't want to say step up, but let's call it step up for lack of a better term, into international cricket a lot easier. So it was an awesome experience for me personally, and something that going forward I can't thank those guys enough. Yeah, the captaincy was a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest. I think Faf went down injured, and for whichever reason it was, I was made the captain, and like I said, I was surprised by it, a bit taken back by it, but in the same breath incredibly sort of grateful and happy to have been given that responsibility. That series didn't go well for us at all. I think India sort of really smacked us, and I learned a lot about sort of leadership. I think it can also, especially when you're young like that, it can also really consume you, and at that moment I think I forgot that I was actually a batsman in the team as well, and you sort of get to the crease just to bat and do your job for the team, but you've got so much other things on your mind from a captaincy point of view. So learned those lessons along the way. I had great support from the other senior players that were in that squad still though, so I saw it as quite a nice learning curve for me going forward, and yeah, it didn't work out very well, but it's something that I'll still hold very close to my heart. Yeah, that's a tough question to answer. I would probably say representing South Africa is the ultimate dream that has come true for me. Every cricketer wants to represent their country, and it's something that I'll never take for granted. So that's probably been the biggest highlight of my shortish career. But there's a lot of things. I think you achieve sort of little milestones along the way. IPL was always a dream, and a couple of years back probably thought it was never going to happen either. So that also meant a lot. So yeah, there's a couple up there, but it's been an awesome journey and something that I've loved. So I wouldn't really give that up for anything or anyone. Yeah, I've never been a huge sort of long-term goal setter, but definitely to continue playing 3 formats for South Africa is up there with the most importance. And that'll only come through putting performances out. So that's sort of the main focus, I think, but it's also now at a phase where I'm in an environment now at Sunrisers where you look at our whole management setup and it's just sort of legends, isn't it? So it's awesome to be able to work with them and sponge off as much information as I can from them, and sort of keep the growth side of things in mind, and keep trying to get better on the daily, and hopefully that brings a bit more enjoyment to the game. So yeah, I would say that's sort of where I would like to go in the next couple of years. Yeah, I'm a massive family guy. I love and adore my family to bits, and I've got an older sister. She's 3 years older than me, and very grateful for my parents. They're still happily married. So it's just the 4 of us in terms of sort of immediate family, and we're a very sort of close household. So like I said, I've got a lot of time for them. My parents brought me up in a way that I couldn't really thank them enough. But very, I don't want to say old school, but they taught me to become very appreciative of things and sort of never be able to take things for granted. They gave me a lot of opportunities that have resulted in me sort of being here or being where I am today, and like I've said, a lot of thanks needs to go to the 2 of them and my sister as well. She's played a huge role in supporting me along the way, and yeah, very grateful for my family. It's quite a tough one. On my alarm that is set in the mornings, it's underneath the time it'll say a new opportunity to become better. I'm not sure if that applies to sort of a philosophy of life or however you call it, but that's sort of what I try to do on the daily, try to get better, not just from a cricketing side of things, but trying to be a better person for your loved ones, your friends, teammates, whatever it might be, even just people around you. Look at people working in the hotels with us, they're in the bubble as well, and it's not easy for them either. So trying to become better on the daily has always been the sort of main focus. So that's probably something I would say.